Hello, everyone. Welcome to the event Walk the Walk for Sustainable Development. I am so happy to be here with you all. There are so many who have signed up for this event, and it's going to be really exciting to listen to all the guests that we have here today. So the theme is Walk the Walk. So what do we mean by that? Well, there is no planet B. And what we must do is to energize Plan A for action to make the one planet that we have safe and productive for future generations. And science tells us that we must do more to move towards a low carbon and no carbon future, but we're still treading water. So now is the opportunity to act for a better world. And why is that? Well, this is what we're going to talk about because for the first time in history, organizations and companies can now work with sustainability and also verify their sustainability work according to Agenda 2030 and the ISO 26000 and the self-declaration, which is an international standard. So this event, I have invited inspirational business leaders and also impact auditors within the field of sustainability. And they will give you a great opportunity for you to get hands-on tips and tools for how to walk the walk for sustainable development. And also how to make an impact in business and in society and the environment. So I'm truly happy to be here and I hope you are too. If you have any questions, just write them in the chat during the event and I will pick them up and interact with you. We love interactions. So first, I would like to see who is here. So say hi or just write something in the chat and also where you're from, which part of the world that you are from. And we will try to say hello to you. There is a bit of delay in the broadcast here, so I'll try to see your comments as soon as possible and address them. All right. So the program for today is that we are going to talk with Joanna Richardson, who is the lead auditor at Verify Agency of Sweden. And it's a company that is accredited to verify organizations' statements. And we will also meet Karin Lintrup, who is the sustainability manager at Mink in Sweden. And we will talk about her work and also Mink's work with the ISO 26000 and the verification that they newly got. And we will meet also some inspirational leaders, impact auditors, who are just finished their certification course for impact auditing. Let's see if I can see any comments in the chat. I think so. Yes, hi, Ruhija, joining from Baku, Azerbaijan. Hello, welcome. And we also have Marie Greco from Lund, welcome. Robert, welcome, you're from Sweden. And Philip, you're also from Sweden, welcome. Jesper from Linköping in Sweden, welcome this day. And we have Arturo from Stockholm, welcome. Who is here more? Leonidas. Any Greeks here? Please like this post. Well, Leonidas, my ancestors are actually from Greece, some part of it. Welcome everyone. We are really happy to have you here. And this is the event, Walk the Walk for Sustainable Development. So I would like to welcome Joanna Richardson, who is lead auditor at Verify Agency. Let's see if we can bring Joanna to the stage. Hi, there you are.
Hi there, how are you doing?
Hi. How are you today?
Well, I'm fine and happy, extra happy.
Yeah.
Apart from our event here, it's also World Standards Day. So
right.
we're like lifting the standards, lifting the people, lifting the auditors to make a difference. So
yeah, and we have the auditors also with us, impact auditors. It's going to be really exciting to listen to them as well, because you are going to interview the auditors. And why is that? Why are you going to interview them, Joanna?
well, first of all, it's fantastic to be here after a year. I can't believe they have, or first of all, that we have put together a course. We held the course and they have taken it and they are now ready to work as auditors. That's super, super exciting. And of course, we like to ask them a few things about their journey and also what plans they have and expectations forward, and what they can do with their newly achieved knowledge.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I also want to mention early on now, because if you find this topic really interesting about sustainability, about being an impact auditor, we're actually having a masterclass also this weekend in Swedish, and also on the 20th and 21st of October in English. So, Johanna, you will lead this masterclass together with Helena Tinert, who is one of our co-workers. What are you going to teach in this masterclass? Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Like a sneak peek.
Yeah, like a sneak peek.
Well, of course, we focus on what companies can do to accelerate their sustainability work, and of course, we have to look a little bit into the standard ISO 26000 that we have chosen to be guided by, and the self-declaration that comes with it, to tell people how they can use this, how they can be guided by this, and we have some examples from our pilot cases and from Verify Agency that we're gonna share. And well, actually, Helena said something really funny the other day. She was talking about her three teenage children in an example regarding something else. But you know, when you have to wake them up properly in the morning, you cannot just say good morning, time to rise and shine, and that's what they do. You basically have to like take the covers off, open the door, say this is the stairs, go downstairs to the kitchen, here's the breakfast. You need that in order to go out in the world and make an impact. Of course, we want our children to be self-sufficient and do this by themselves, but sometimes I suppose some of you know that this is what we have to do. And I'd say that is what we have to do with companies right now. So if you're then also a certified impact auditor, you're almost a teenage parent, helping them getting out there for their impact.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be really exciting. We will pick that up later on in this program. But I think we'll soon let the first guest in here. But before that, well, Johanna, you work at Verify Agency and you work as a lead auditor. And you've just explained also that you had a course with the course participants, or a course leader as well. But what else do you do at Verify Agency? And what could you tell us a little bit about the company?
Well, Verify Agency started earlier this year. It started because there is a need for companies to be verified. Many companies are accelerating in their sustainability work. Some are still left behind, and there's a gap there. But in order to be verified by a third party, which is something we've done many times along this road, but now Verify Agency is the first company in the world being accredited by SWEDAC to actually do so. So that's what we think the world needs.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Let's see, we have some more comments here before we let Ashwarya in here. We have Ladislava. from Croatia. Welcome. And then we have Gabriella from Smarthead Ladies. Hello. Are you also in Dubai, or are you in Bratislava right now? Because I know your colleagues are there. So greetings to you all. We have also Maria. Hello, Maria. Today from Chile. Welcome. Happy that you have joined today. And we have Peter from Skåne, Sweden. Welcome. Katarina, you are today connected from Stockholm. Hi and welcome. Let's see, someone else. We have Helen from Norway. Hello, Helen. Happy to have you here. So let's continue now. I think we will bring up our first guest that is in the programs for certified impact auditors, and I will let her in and move myself out so that you two can have a moment where you interview and we listen to Aishwarya, but also you that are listening to the program, just ask questions now. Ask Aishwarya and Joanna a lot of questions if you have any thoughts about being an impact auditor, for example. Okay, are you ready, guys?
Hi there, Aishwarya. Welcome.
Hello, Joanna.
Warm welcome. I have to say that, what Eva was talking about with certified impact auditors, that could be described in many ways. But to me, that is someone setting an example so that companies and organizations can take ownership over their impact. And such a person, to me, that is you, Aishwarya.
Thank you.
And for those of you who
I'm
haven't,
honored coming from both of you.
For those of you who haven't met Aishwarya before, she is the founder of the Lighthouse Cohort, a social enterprise and consultancy with humanitarian initiatives across Middle East, Asia, and Africa. And at the moment, you're situated in Dubai.
Yes, I am.
And I've added a little fun fact for everyone. And I know that you have like an over-the-top fascination of visiting a different lighthouse when you're traveling. Isn't that so?
I have. I admit I have. And it has always been a very unique experience with each one of them. It's amazing. You have to visit one to experience it in any country.
And we have one in common, which is like a favorite one in Geneva.
Yes.
Yes.
We share the Geneva Lighthouse.
Well, very welcome. And we head straight over to a couple of questions. And we should clarify for those of you listening that Aishwarya is invited today. She's in the course right now, and she's about to start her pilot project. So she has a little way to go before she's ready. But we decided to invite you in to have the experience of what it's like to be in the course. So what is your take, or maybe your takeaway in terms of theory so far? And I'm thinking especially SDGs, ISO 26000 and the self-declaration.
First of all, thank you for having me, Joanna and Eva. Indeed, an honor to be part of this knowledge sharing event. Definitely a great idea to bring together people from all levels of the knowledge group. And in my humble opinion, to answer your tricky question, I must say, the first takeaway for me now that I have finished the theory and I also started my pilot, I think that one word that comes to my mind is relevance. And I think in today's time, with the amount of information and ammunition that is thrown at us and the jargon that is thrown at us, I think there is no dearth of information and technology. But I think what everybody is looking out for is relevance, and how can I be a part of this moment, and what can I do, and how can I make others be part of it in my own way. Like, we all have something to contribute. And I think this is what was my greatest takeaway from the theory, because between all that information out there, I think the theory was like information given on a platter that was useful. So I think that is something that people can look out for to consolidate their thoughts and pick up a process. And the self declaration also, I felt that, okay, it took us some time to connect with the self declaration and how it works. Uh, but then I felt that the 7 portal questions that are part of the that are part of the self declaration, I think the best part about them is that they give a relevance again to SDGs and ISO. So every time you're answering a question, you're not like a headless chicken trying to do something and trying to find information within your company, outside your company, or just trying to be what you're not. I think it gives you a very clear direction of what you're supposed to answer. And maybe it's time that among the 17 goals and the 169 targets that it comes with and another sub clauses, this is very important, that in which direction should you go to answer that question. So I thought the self declaration was good in that sense, and it really brought some focus to the whole process. If I have to put, if you allow me to put things in perspective for myself, I can speak for myself that when 10 years back, when I started my journey for as a corporate social responsibility professional, I was part of a similar certification in Singapore, and I started my journey there. And ISO 26000 was introduced in the market during that time, and people had just started talking about it. And when I looked at that document, it was quite daunting. Let me be very honest. It was quite daunting. And the most important thing was that I couldn't really understand or relate to it in at that point in time, that how are you going to translate all these guidelines, because there's so much work to be done. And I think now we are in 10 years down the line, more than 10 years down the line, we are in a good space. And one of the reasons why I decided to divert myself to programs and projects and actually do work on ground is because I wanted to find that relevance and that bridge between all these guidelines and projects and CSR myself. And now that I have it, I think this course came as a blessing after 10 years, at the right place at the right time. And it just gave momentum to my own growth. So it's the right place, right time, and that's what is my biggest takeaway, that I can apply it. So that's something that I find very exciting and promising about the course.
Well, that sounds great. And also, I'm thinking your story, and to go with my own experience, is that, like you said, they can be daunting, these standards, and there needs to be, in my opinion, a certified impact auditor in between organizations and the standard. You need someone to facilitate it, or to summarize it, or translate it, or set it in motion, really.
Yeah, I guess we share that in common, like you, me, and everybody like us. I feel that we have a lot of people working on ground. We have a lot of people who are sitting with resources, but I think we need to develop this tribe of people now who can become better facilitators in the right sense, not coordinators. I would like to really stress upon the point that, well-informed facilitators who are aware of what is required at both ends, not just the corporate, not just the resources, not just the government, but they have a good knowledge about how these three can work together for the benefit of many.
Absolutely. And now you're facing a challenge and an adventure, I'd say. You are going to have a pilot case. You have been matched with a pilot company, and you're about to start. And this, a Swedish company at that. So that's a new thing for you. What are your expectations from this pilot case?
Okay, the first expectation that I have is I want them to work as a team with each other, yes, but more so with me. So, because I think that the reason I took up this pilot case in Sweden, not so much as a challenge, but because I do work with different countries and I have worked with Sweden before in different capacities, but the country is not new for me. So I can say that this is a home ground for me now to try out a pilot case. And with a team like yours that has been so supportive and open, I think that the first thing that I would look out for in a company is working together. When I say teamwork, because the whole essence of this, what I like about the social impact auditor is it's not like a regular run of the mill auditing process where you're supposed to really raise the bar every time and be there and apply to the compliance. It is a process, it is a journey of growth for both. And I think the beauty lies in helping each other to contribute for the higher cause. Because, and the best thing about this is it always starts with acknowledging that things are not perfect and we are on this journey together. And I think that's very rare when it comes to interactions and corporates and processes. And that is what I'm expecting them to mainly understand, that we are here to contribute together to this process and make it better, improve, and keep moving together and bring our strengths and weaknesses to the table. I think rest of the things are just technicalities which can be sorted out with each case, with each product, with each operational setup. It's just you go case wise, and there is no technicality that cannot be sorted out. But I think with all the knowledge, things fail because we tend to not work as a team, and we think that we are here to prove something, which we are not. I think we need to go up one notch and really think that we are in this together. And to answer your question about Sweden, again, just weaving it back to it, the reason I decided to go with Sweden and not any company in Dubai is because, as your event says, walk the walk or walk the talk. I mean, I wanted to see if, I can do this across borders, and what we are doing is not about sitting somewhere only in the Western countries or the developing countries and like putting labels around it. No, it is all so interconnected that you have to cross that barrier, go across borders, and really treat each other as that one tribe that wants to do something. So that is my expectation, that I want to do it with Sweden.
Well, thank you, Atvarya, and you should cross borders, and you could also run a country. This also goes hand in hand with what your idea here goes hand in hand with the idea of what we think of when for these auditors as well. And I know that you have been focusing on not what is wrong, but what is strong. And that's something I've heard you say many times. I mean, you should look into the problems and try to solve them, but you should look into what is strong and build on it. And if we look at the standard and the self-declaration, we have continuous improvement as the most important words to follow up on.
Yes, Joanna, and thank you for reminding me that. And just very quickly, I want to add on that when I say that, what is strong, you need to focus on what is strong and not what is wrong. I think it is also important to understand that another area that goes with it, that whether we are auditors, facilitators, or corporates giving resources, I have always believed that we shouldn't approach in like as if we are going to save the world and as if we are there to save you. So this is also very important, that your strength should come from a different space of contributing and doing this together and acknowledging that the other person has something to contribute, and you're not the only one who's going to come and change their world with or even if you're an auditor or a welfare. So I think when you go from that space and approach the problem, in my humble experience, I have always received more than my expectations.
Yes, and that is, I suppose, why we work in cohorts and why we think that
Yes.
Sustainable Development Goal number 17 is important.
I am a big promoter of cohorts and partnerships. Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't think I'm capable of doing everything.
It's true.
I've made my peace with that.
Yeah. Well, we will have to come back to you, Ashwarya, when you have finished the course and celebrate when you are actually done. But I suppose I thank you for now, for checking in. I know, or I think I know, that you have appreciated the coaching sessions. I think that you found friends and maybe future partners, new knowledge, and that's something I want to lift as well to this. The coaching sessions are a little extra.
Yes, I agree. And thank you for adding that element of coaching to the course, because it is important that we interact and we don't work in silo. And the best part about the group coaching was the open sharing of knowledge. And again, what I liked about it is none of the participants, even if all of us were part of the first batch and we were all quite excited that we're trying to do something, in this world, that, we'll do our part. And everybody was so excited to share the knowledge. And I think insights into your world in Sweden, considering I was the only one from Dubai, I think that was great. And the acceptance of everybody, I'm very much, I'm thankful and grateful to the entire group for accepting me as an outsider, if I can say that. But they really were open to ideas, and at the same time, I learned a lot from them, and it definitely contributed to the knowledge of and the process of growing in the course. So yes, definitely, I think the group coaching is very important, and certain things that you cannot address openly can be shared with the group, and it's good to have a perspective other than what you might have from where you are, and that kind of opens a lot of doors. It's a beautiful process.
It is, and I have to say now, because this group, you guys were coached by me, but now we have put this up a notch, and we have our head coach, Helena Tinnet, coming in to join you. And she's not only knowledgeable within sustainability, she is into coaching as such, and she always delivers that little extra. So for you who decide to join the course in October, end of October, 18th, I think, she will be your coach.
Yeah. I think she's doing a fantastic job, and she definitely brings a very different element and knowledge to the group. And it has been, she's flexible, and very open to ideas. So we have been enjoying her sessions, few sessions that we had with her so far.
Yeah, she brings in the wisdom. Like you have the standard and you have the wisdom. You put it together and you act
I
upon
think
it.
her wisdom also comes from the sports that she follows. Because
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I've been into sports, and I think sports brings a lot of wisdom in you, just on the side.
And team effort.
Yes, team effort.
Yes. I have no idea about the time, Eva. Where are we?
Yeah, we thank you so much, Ashwarya. I was sitting here and listening because I didn't dare to go out of stage, so we don't mess up with the sound and everything. But it was so exciting to listen to you, and I truly look forward now to both your pilot case and your pilot company, but also continuing collaborating with you. So.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your insights also about the course and the coaching and everything. And I was just thinking, if anyone has some questions to Ashwarya, take the chance now and write some comments or write a question in the comments field. However, the time is running away because we now have also our next certified impact auditor that we want to pick up on the stage. So once again, Ashwarya, thank you so much for being here with
Thank you
us.
both of you. It was a pleasure being here.
Thanks. And we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Good luck.
So let's see. Here we are. So again, if you have questions for Ashwarya, just please write them in the comments field and we will pick them up. And I think she will be here backstage also to answer them. Let's see then. Joanna, I will try to move myself out of the streaming, but I'm not sure.
Promise you come back though.
I will come back otherwise. But now we have Perul. Welcome. And Joanna, please introduce Perul.
Hello, Pio. Good to see you. Oh, I have to do this there. Well, great to have you here. I'm pretty sure that some viewers know who you are already, but for those who don't, I'm going to introduce you. Perul is a sustainability expert and works at Planet People, and you have a great knowledge within those 3 principles and mindfulness. You're a mindfulness facilitator and breath coach. So you basically this sustainable human being with a holistic perspective inside out. And I do have a little fun fact about you. I know that you have a super cool cat with the name Sune. And I think that you also practice headstands and handstands. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just I do. I have a yoga practice, and I do. It's good for many things.
It's good for many things. I
know.
Okay, so how are you doing today?
It's a busy day, so I'm happy I made it in time.
A busy auditor.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's head over to the questions and share some answers and insights with the viewers. This course, Certified Impact Auditor, consists of 2 parts, which is 1 theory and 1 pilot. What is your takeaway of learnings from the 2?
Well, since it was a pilot, it was very interesting because the course was kind of developing along as we were studying. So I thought that was very interesting and at the same time a little bit challenging. But I think that what I got the most out of the course was a good understanding of the challenge of sustainability. I think that prior to taking the course, sustainability was more on an environmental focus from my point of view. So by looking at the core subjects of the ISO 26000, I realized that it's really so multifaceted, the challenge. And the theory was, it covered all of the aspects, but it was very nice to really dive into and to spend time. At the same time, it was easy to get lost in it because it was so interesting and I got so consumed with it. But at the end, it really felt that the foundation that I built through to taking the course gave me the capability to do what I'm supposed to do. But not only as an auditor, but actually as helping companies implementing sustainability work according to the ISO 26000 standard. I know that's not that's not the goal of the course, but it's like a byproduct if you take the time to really dive into the course material, because there is a lot of potential learning to have.
Yes, and you can use it, of course, to become an auditor, but it's also possible to take the knowledge and use it within your company or for internal audits and things like that. So you can still, anyone who takes the course is not required to become an auditor. It's like a choice. Of course, that's the outcome is you have the opportunity to actually get the assignments, which is great. But you can also just gain the knowledge. And the theory, I'd say also, I know it's kind of heavy with like documents and things to read, but sometimes it's, this is a tip for anyone taking this course. It's like you keep the documents, put them in a folder, and don't read all in one go. Come back to it. Like maybe after the course, you look at it differently. So
yeah, I think from my point of view, I didn't listen. I know that you said that before. I was so thrilled with all the things that was in the course that it was just hard to limit. It's like going down into a rabbit hole, and you don't know when to crawl out of it again, because you oh, this is so interesting. I want to study some more about this, and then you just kind of. But it was good because it was during the pandemic, so I had time to actually do that. If it was today, I wouldn't have the time. It would be I wouldn't have the luxury of going so deep like I did.
Well, I also have to thank you and the group for the nice feedback in this pilot, so that we can maybe move around the modules or put some new things in there, update it. And for me now, it's going to be very nice to have all the examples in there. Like we started out without the examples and with the standard that was a bit late. Now the standard is here, and we have done some pilot cases and some verifications, and we have something to show, which is so much easier to explain what we're doing and the verification process and all that. So
yeah, I think what you're pointing at right now, that was really a big challenge for everybody, for the companies that were being audited, and for you and for us as participants in the course. But I think at the same time, it was not a bad thing, because at least for me, it gave me the inspiration to dive deeper and really, go a little bit outside of the curriculum to find out more about what other companies had done based on the old standard and so forth. So I really, it inspired me actually, actually to learn more. But now with, but now with the standard in hand, you know, it's a lot easier. I think for the new participants, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you had to do the extra work. First one's out. That's often the case. But I also have to say, for instance, how great it is when people come in with different knowledge, and you have specific knowledge within environmental. You've been an auditor before, certain area, you bring in that knowledge, and the others can learn a little bit from you. And as you said, standards can be quite heavy to read sometimes. And if you had been on environmental side of things, I was on the social side of things before, and now these are coming together in ISO 26000, and especially the self-declaration. So you have all three: environment, economic, and social, all put together, as well as, like Ashwarya said before, the link to the SDGs. So it's more comprehensible, and thereby also easier to bring out to the companies, to set them in motion for their impact.
Absolutely, and I think also for me, one of the challenges has been I'm working a lot with health and safety, and with been doing a lot of ISO 18001 when that was it's no longer it's a retired standard, but I think that one of the challenges I had was, you know, looking at compliance from a standard point of view, and this is a guiding standard, so it's like take off the old hat and put on a new one. I think that is an experience that I'm sharing with some of the other participants that also came from an ISO background, that you have to think a little different when you work with the ISO 26000 standard than if you work with another standard that you could be certified in.
Absolutely, because other management standards, you have to have something in order, and you have to have the green light, the yellow or the red, and it's like here it's all of a sudden it's not, you cannot follow it like that. It's not yes or no, it's not right or wrong. It's more, this is where we're at right now. So yeah, it's a little bit of a different way of thinking, and also, like you and I have discussed, it's not like looking at the faults they have. We look at the areas of improvement and try to make it better. Even though that's almost the same thing, but it's like a different approach to it.
Absolutely.
All right. So I can see now we have 2 minutes left, and we're on our first question. This is often the case here.
Rapid questions. Go.
Well, I move quickly to my number 4, which is, from your perspective, what can companies do to take their sustainability work to the next level? And I know here that I've been talking about nudging, but I know that you and many with you, and I understand this as well, I'm going to follow your lead. This is not about nudging anymore. It's more like kicking someone's,
Well, I think number one, we're at least 20 years late already. So it's a matter of acting now and with force. I think it's a matter of, I'll put it bluntly, adapt or die. And there are two things for the companies that I would say. Environment is really, for me at least, the most important thing. And what we should do is to minimize impact now, not 2030. And we should focus on implementing circularity in our core business model. And that is really, really the two most important things in my book right now.
Yeah.
And the other part is, of course, looking at the human resources. And I work a lot with stress and burnout, and that is what is high on my agenda as well. It's costing a lot of money today. in lost productivity. People are on the job when they shouldn't be on the job, but also when they're not on the job, and it's costing society a lot. And I also think that as a mindfulness coach, there is a lot to learn from meditation, and that is something that is I'm saying to everybody, a private person or a corporate client, that by learning meditation and mindfulness meditation, you can actually understand how connected we are with the environment, and become compassionate. It's the change has to come from within. Also, we cannot just have a gun put to our head. We have to be compassionate about this, compassionate about ourselves, about each other and the environment, and the changes that we have to do are so great that we need to start from within.
Absolutely, and this is such an important topic and super close to my heart. Yep. You and I have discussed it many times, because if we talk about sustainability, it's not only helping the companies out there. I mean, of course, we have to start with ourselves, and
exactly.
Not perform this and looks good. It's like it has to feel good. It has to come from you, and it has to be grounded and honest, and super important to, and that's why I like your holistic view in this. So you're in one end with the audits out there on the factory floor, hands-on, as well as upside down on your yoga mat. It's like you have the whole, I like that. So I think that's something that more people and companies should actually bring into their strategy, I'd say, to have health coaching on a workplace. Definitely.
Yep. I think that Eva has rang the bell now about 4 times.
It feels a little backwards, just like stress now when you just said that, but okay. Thank you so very much for today, Perul.
Thank you so much, Perul. Yes. So thank you so much. And the change has to come from within. I'm totally with you there. Looking forward to collaborate further with you, Perul. So I will bring you off the streaming and bring on Stefan. Thank you again, Perul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we actually have Stefan here, who, Joanna, you will interview him and ask him, where has he been right now? Okay, welcome, Stefan. And I will just remove myself from the stream. It's going to be really interesting to listen to you.
Thank you. Hello, Joanna.
Hi, Stefan. Where have you been my whole life?
Waiting for this moment.
That's so nice. I'm glad you could make it today. I know you're busy as an auditor, which is a good thing. I'm glad you could join us. And I'm sure with you as well, that some people here already know you. But for those who don't, Stefan Westergaard is an entrepreneur, sustainability professional, and management consultant. I could continue there because you're a lot of other things, but I decided to stick to those. To me, you are a language wizard. And the fun fact that I know about you is that not only are you sailing, which I totally love, you are also kite surfing, which is super brave. And I'm a little jealous.
If we add to that, I'm also a kiteboarding instructor. So you don't need to be jealous. You just need to come to me. I will teach you kiteboarding. As simple as
that. Great. I need a little bit more courage first, but yeah, I'll be there.
I can have that as well, maybe.
Okay. Well, that's nice. So you have taken the Certified Impact Auditor, and you have finished your pilot case. You also had a company internationally. Your company was situated in Bratislava, so you had another situation. So Ashwarya in Dubai with a Swedish company, and you here with a company in Bratislava. That's super interesting. What is if we start with the course? What's your takeaways in terms of the theory part and the pilot case part?
My takeaway is that we got both things in terms of the width. What is sustainability about? I personally gotten that before taking course, since I took SDG for business with Eva, previous to certified impact auditor. However, with that being said, it was really good repetition because you cover not only ISO 26000 in the training, but you cover the width of what sustainability is about. So that was really good. And we also had got a good understanding of what is ISO 26000 in the course. And then when you apply that directly into a parent company, then you go from learning by reading to learning by doing. So it's that good mix. I appreciate it with the training.
And you have been working with these types of standards before, quite a lot. So now adding ISO 26000 is like the cherry on top of your cake already.
Very good description. Yes, that's right. So we worked with ISO 9000, ISO 14000 for some years, starting 15, 20 years ago in this company, and then picking it up again since a year back. So yes, that's correctly described. This is the cherry of the family. And we can see that you have many things in common. You do want to have an understanding of the topic. You do want to have a system in place so you can do measurable progress. So for those companies who have already been working with ISO 9000, 14000 or other management systems, you will have a good benefit when it comes into the field of ISO 26000 and sustainability.
That's great. Yeah. If someone would now watching you thinking, oh, he went to that school. No, that's not a school. He took that course. Maybe I should do that. What suggestion would you give someone thinking about taking this course?
Just do it.
What's the problem? Just do it. Okay, cool, fine, perfect. Great. On to the next
question is, Joanna, when you start, if you consider doing it, what should you have in mind, right?
Sorry?
So the question is, if you start this course, what should you have in mind when deciding to do it and doing it?
Yeah, if someone is thinking about it. I mean, like Peo said, it'll be a little different for people now. You guys were the pilot class, and it was building as we went along, and we were waiting for the standard. Now the standard is here, and we can give examples on what we have done and explain what we're going to do, and the process is in order, verification process, and also, like Eva mentioned, I'd gladly say it again, the accreditation from SWEDEC is in place. So starting now is a little different from when you started, but maybe there's a tip, like I said before, there's a lot of documents. Maybe don't read them all in one go, maybe collect them in a folder, read them little by little.
Okay.
Or like something around the pilot company, or actually the...
Okay, I'm clear. Now, so I think two things. Number one, plan your time. You can take this course in X amount of hours, but if you can spend a little bit more, you will also learn more. So do book time in your calendar, whether that's during office hours or evenings or weekends, whatever works for you, but do plan time for it. So that's one thing. Another thing is decide for yourself in dialogue, of course, with you and the ones giving the course, what is a good enough level? Because you can spend 10 hours on each subject, and then if you have 100 subjects, then it becomes simply too much.
Yeah.
So try to structure for yourself. This and that I have to learn. This and that I would like to learn, but I don't have to do it as deeply with the same quality. I could come back to it later on. So you move forward in the course and you come to your pilot and you finish your pilot. You will be learning by doing anyhow, even if you don't read all the thousands of pages you can read in the topic.
Yeah. And the theory is good to have, and it's good to come back to. And as we said before, maybe it makes sense further along the way. But I suppose the fun part is actually the pilot case, when you get to meet a company and company representatives, where you actually sit down with them and have the interviews and analyze their answers in the self-declaration. It's actually you who find the observations and do the analysis and create the questions for the interviews. And also in the end, what we're striving for is not only having looked into the answers, it's actually given the recommendations. So they have something to, it's like the breakfast for the teenagers. So they have something to set off in the world with and make their impact.
And that's a good point. So when what you want to do as an auditor, whether that's for ISO 26000 or 9000, 14000 or whatever, of course, a part of your role is there to verify, are you doing what you are saying that you're doing? Are you complying with what the management system says you should be doing? That's, of course, an important role. But the most inspiring part of the role is to help the company to develop, how to move forward, how to get a better system in place, how to get better sustainability impact. That's a really interesting part, and that requires a dialogue, a mutual dialogue, listening from both parties. And that's what really motivates me with doing this.
Absolutely. And if we stick to that, to the companies, or maybe we should say organizations, for this is not only companies, but different kinds of organizations apply the standard. And if you, in your words and thoughts, would say to companies what they ought to do, like generally, now you looked into a few companies, what would be the general idea of what can they do to take their sustainability work to the next level?
Well, if I put it very simply, get started with the next step. This is, as most there's some complexity to it. With sustainability, I would say it's a bit more, if not a lot more complex than working with only quality or only environment. And it's easy to get lost in it too much to grasp. Well, then, if you see 10 things you would like to do, well, pick one, pick two, and get moving forward with those. Then you can always pick up the 8 other ones later on.
That's great advice. Absolutely great advice. And now having had the standard in front of me, under me, sleeping on it, talking about it, I'd say that ISO 26000 is a great standard to start with. It's guiding and it's broad, and
actually we have a question here about it, and it's not a stupid question. I just wanted to bring it up because Martin is asking, he's not up to speed with ISO 26000. So if you could just give him a brief about ISO 26000, that would be wonderful. Just to
sure.
Short
version is that this standard came. I mean, it's over 10 years old.
To interrupt you, because I'm actually doing an audit today of environment at the customer site. So I decided to take 10 minutes for this, which was really inspiring. You will give that answer just as well, or if not even better than I can do. So I'll leave you to that. Thank you for having me joining you today.
Well, thank you, Stefan. You are awesome.
Thanks, Stefan, and good luck with your auditing.
Thank you very much.
So we have the question here. Would you like to answer that, Joanna?
Well,
we
sure.
have one left.
When it came 10 years ago, ISO 26000 was focusing on social sustainability. And that's when I started working with it, and I worked in construction with that focus. But now it's even better, because now it includes social, environmental, and economic sustainability. So it's all together. We're not supposed to divide them up. It's all together there. And maybe you heard before in the self-declaration, the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, are also included. So it makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was this question also. Now I see that, Martin, you have added it. What is the self-declaration? What does this actually mean? Well, it means that companies, they are answering in a concrete way 50 questions about how they are working with their sustainability work. So it is that they are declaring their own work, and what we do is to verify it, to see that they actually are doing what they're saying that they do, being truthful about their answers. So, Joanna, would you like to add something to that? Because that is actually what we teach in the course also, or what you teach in the course, how to be that impact auditor and verify the sustainability work.
Yes. Well, I don't have to add anything, but it's like you said, the standard is the standard, and then there's a self-declaration, and it is the self-declaration that we, as certified impact auditors, verify the truthfulness in.
Yeah, right. And then there was another question.
You can play that again.
Katarina, she has a question about different way of thinking. And I'm not sure what you meant, where you put that question. And I'm wondering if the Sustainable Development Goals gives that frame. I have been auditor in ISO 14001, and there it was this green, yellow, and red bullets. I'm not sure about the question. Do you understand the question, Johanna? Maybe you could answer it or understand it.
No, not really.
Well, it's I mean, when you look at ISO 26000, it is, as Johanna just said, that it's the environmental, the social, and the economic.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So it could be that what Katarina is asking about, if it's a frame, and you could say that it is like a frame of sustainability, the ISO 26000, which is also including the environmental perspective.
Yes, I can add to that. Sorry, I was also keeping in touch with the course participants at the same time. Yeah. Working with ISO 26000 some years ago, we also used those green, yellow, and red bullets to see their maturity level or where they were at, and that was handed in to whomever had asked you to do this audit. We're not doing that right now because it's not like you pass or you don't pass. It's actually just looking into where you're at in your work right now. So that's a little different. That's what Shapiro said. You have to think a little different. It's not, you cannot put check anywhere. It's like, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you for answering those questions. And if you have more questions, just put them up and we will bring it into the event. I think, our next guest would be Kristina Christensen. And let's see if we can bring her up here. And I will remove myself again.
You sounded just like Oprah. Oh my God.
Just to say.
Kristina.
Yes.
Hi, good to see you.
Hi. Good to see you too.
How are you today?
I'm good. Do you hear me all right this time?
I hear you. A little low, but
okay.
I can hear you. I can introduce Kristina, meanwhile, for those of you who don't know her from before. Kristina is a consultant with the environment in focus. She has been focusing on renewable fuels, reduced emissions, working for Skånetrafiken here in Malmö. And she's also been a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She has this broad range of experience that come in handy now as an auditor. And there's, I also know that you are into yoga and care specifically for sustainable forests. And if I should add a fun fact that I know about you, is that behind Christina's screen, there's a window and she can see the ocean. And sometimes you can contemplate and rest your eyes over there, or if you don't want to listen to your coach, you can look at the ocean for some time. That's a great
I
way.
wouldn't do that, no.
We should all have a window so we could like gaze somewhere else rather than just on the screen. But anyhow, warm welcome, Christina.
Thank you for being here.
And you are also, you have finished both parts, and I should say congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's your hard job too.
It's ours.
Yes.
But thanks. So what are your takeaways? Like I asked the others, from theory and pilot, what do you bring with you, especially?
Okay. I think the theory parts being divided into chapters was a very nice walk you did with us, walking us through the different parts, since we couldn't just take the standard and read it since it wasn't there. But you made us slowly, and that was in a way good because we did the pilot, and so there was a slow pace, and it was very open, and you made us walk through all these chapters, and it was very exciting to have that time and the discussions and all the confusion. It was vivid and nice, and then we came to the pilot, and that was very exciting for me because it was a smaller company that really had so much energy and so much to say about sustainability. And for me, having done that much with environmental issues, it was very interesting and good because finally that economic and social parts could be joined in so they could help each other rather than this is not for this time or whatever. So I think it was a good path for walk.
And I have to say, all of you who make the pilot case and by that help the companies that are pilot companies, you help them with their pre-verification. It's always a help, but in your case, you did a great job. And I mean, like you said, your company was smaller than the others and more of an entrepreneurial style, who hadn't worked with this before. But with your background and your knowledge in this on a very high level, I've witnessed firsthand how you could take all that knowledge and actually describe it and explain it so that they can come aboard and then continue. So I have to say, you did some really great work there.
Having that knowledge with you is then that's the situations where you find it so useful. All of a sudden you find something in your back of your head that you haven't thought of maybe for a while, but that's what's good with the experience. Yes, absolutely.
And it's not only that you have the knowledge on a high level. I mean, here comes the fact that you have been a teacher and you can actually convey this in a way that someone can bring it to the mind and senses and then take it further. So I think that's a great combination.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can continue the phrase.
Yes, but could you a little bit more? My ego
Of course. Well, I was thinking we touched upon the group coaching, and we have had a lot of discussions, and maybe you had an idea of what you thought of the group coaching.
Yes. Well, I really liked that they were so open-minded. That we, I think that we all tried to listen to each other quite much. And also that we all were a little bit in the beginning confused, helped because then you discuss more, or I think it was very helpful actually to hear what they thought about.
Yeah. Well, I'll skip a few questions and I come to this important one so that we can impact the organizations. And in your words and thoughts and ideas about the future, what can companies do to take their sustainability work to the next level?
Oh, good. I got that question. I like that one. I think because if there is something with this standard, it's that using the SDG, the goals, the UN national goals, not national, but the UN goals, then you can always find something that is close to your heart that you like to do. So I think that if you don't do much, you can always do something, and you can do something you like, and you can then work from there using the standard, using the self-declaration we mentioned with all the questions that you can answer later on if you just start working. And then find something that you either believe in or that you find is good for your company or for yourself. There are so many issues to choose from that everybody can find something and start that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. And when it comes to you and your future, do you think you're going to work as an auditor, take assignments as an auditor?
I would like to do so because I think it's fun. As you mentioned, seeing different companies, being in those discussions with people, having colleagues, having other people to discuss with, other auditors. I think it's a very interesting way for me to work as well.
And maybe we said that before, but you're also from a line of work where you kind of used to this type of work. So now you're just adding to your expertise. Yeah,
I liked very much to add, since if you work with environmental issues, you always find that there are several social issues, economic, or the way labor works. I mean, there are very, very many questions you like to address, and here you can do it with this new standard. And so I think this is, it's really good, and it's a more open standard in the sense that you have not a certification necessarily that you have for 1 year, but you can work with it, and you can add every year. You can add more questions, more goals, and but you always have to also take into account the part of organization that you organize yourself and your company around the goals, and then the questions in the self-declaration. Then I think you get a very, very good guide for doing this work, and also having something to show off to others, or if it is your supplier, or it's easier for you if you have done this work, and then you can do good procurement, or it's a very good way of organizing yourself and your company, of course.
Thank you, Christina. I hope you out there were listening now. Well, I have to say congratulations, and I'm not going to say I hope I see you later, because I'm gonna see you later.
Yes.
And wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you, Christina.
And thank you very much yourself for
Christina.
being our guide through it all. And hi, Eva.
Hi. Thank you so much, Christina.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Bye. And I just have to add now, these were the course participants that have finished the Certified Impact Auditor, apart from Ashwarya, who's still in the course. But we have two ladies who have finished that couldn't join us today, unfortunately. And I just want to mention them because they're here in spirit. And it is Camilla Rydén. She's an organizational developer, consultant, coach, and author. She's like super into leadership and good at it. Fun fact, it is actually the first ever certified impact auditor. That's something. And she just became
the first one out. Yeah.
And we have Lucia Buchmann, is a consulting director, scaling sustainable solutions and accelerating the transition towards a circular economy. A professional that's out there working right now and had to be at work. A fun fact that I know about her is that she is into rock climbing.
Okay, I think we will interview them separately, so and spread their words as well. So actually, we have a question from Helen to all speakers now, that she's curious to hear why they decided to become a certified impact auditor. And this is a question to you all who has been here with Joanna. If you can, just please answer Helen in the chat. Why did you become or decided to become a certified impact auditor? And just a small head on that is that everyone who takes the course is not always going to work as a certified impact auditor, right, Joanna? Or do you have?
No, it's put together so that the idea is that you work as an auditor. But as we said before, you can also take the course because you're interested in ISO 26000, right. What other standards are out there, and what about the self-declaration, and you want to bring that knowledge into your company, or maybe you're an internal auditor. It's fine. You take this knowledge with you. But the best outcome is like if you want to have assignments, because that's actually possible afterwards. If you finish the course, and of course there's some things you need to pass in order to like get the actual assignments.
All right.
I can also say why certified impact auditor very briefly, but it's a very concrete way to work with sustainability, a concrete way to put work in motion and to steer towards well, not only 2030, but what's it's going to look like afterwards. And so it's
thank you so much, Joanna. And you will be back soon again. But now we are heading on with the event, and we will soon welcome Karin. So thank you again, Joanna. I will just bring you off the stage. Thanks. So we will meet Karin Lintrup. She is head of sustainability and business development at Mink. Mink's vision, I don't know if you know about Mink, it's to be one of the leading startup houses in Europe, and their mission is to help startups and people to grow. So Mink, they offer a number of programs and initiatives that help entrepreneurs scale their business. And they have different offerings, which I think we will ask Karin and explain it a little bit more. But Mink is the first startup house in the world being verified for ISO 26000 and the associated self-declaration. And Mink was set up by the city of Malmö in 2002 to fuel innovation. So I'm so thrilled and happy to have Karin, who I will bring up to the stream. Hello, Karin. How are you?
Hey, Eva. I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it's so exciting to have you. And well, people have asked so much about Mink now. I have had so many questions, actually. And I thought that, well, we should give Karin the moment to explain a little bit about Mink. What it is, and also what you do at Mink.
Absolutely. And I heard your intro there. We're really happy to be the first incubator we had hoped to be the first organization at all, though, but we are happy with being the first incubator also. But when you try to reach the stars and dream big, you at least get a bit of the way, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Eva. I know that you have questions for me later on, so I'm just gonna just zoom in a bit on why we are working with what we are working with. As you heard, I'm head of sustainability in our incubator and also a business coach for our startups within sustainability. And I'm convinced that sustainable business is the only way to make business that lasts. That means that it's our obligation actually to combine economical business development with sustainability. And I'm also very humble for the job that needs to be done to get there. And I think that's really important to have that approach. Since for each, startups don't have a lot of resources. They're new from scratch. But it actually, for each single company, no matter what size, is really courageous to start this journey. And a few years ago, it was even courageous to express that sustainability is profitable. But that, happily enough, we see has changed. So they're more and more recognizing this. But far from everyone knows how to add sustainability into the core of the business, and don't know either how to increase profitability. And yet others don't think it's necessary at all. We still face that. So working with them on their different levels where they are, both in their business, how early, but also how core they have sustainability already from the beginning in their business idea, or to help them get there is what we basically do. And this is where I personally thrive. I work best in headwinds, winning the small victories by bringing it's like in place bit by bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my motto not to talk about what you do until you've done it. So walk the talk is really like, and this is also why it's so rewarding to work with small businesses, not only startups, small businesses in generally, and helping them to navigate to find their sustainability journey. And I've worked in large corporations and done other stuff there with innovation paths and so on. But I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity now to work in the front line, which I kind of feel that also the standard is, like pushing ahead of the development. So I'm honored to be one of those who actually have accomplished this work together with you and to be here.
Great. And it's so interesting also to see that how you apply the sustainability to your companies in your incubator or your facility in Mink. So being a startup, how would you encourage startups to start to work with sustainability? What are your best tips for them?
Try to find it something which you think is as core as possible to where you thrive, where your energy is. That's the one thing. But also as much as possible close to where you have your actual business, where the business ideas. Because the more core, the more you can combine those two, the stronger your footprint or your standing point on the market will be. And as we said, it is possible to to be profitable and sustainable at the same time. So don't hesitate to take that standpoint and ask your customers and suppliers about it. I think that is actually the most common point, even when you as a startup are building something, that you don't think about asking your potential customers what they think around the value of sustainability.
Yeah, great tips. And actually Perul, he also talked about the change has to come within, and that's also what you say, kind of that work with that gives you the energy. And a lot of startups has some kind of, they have some purpose, right, from the beginning. They're usually really clear on their purpose and their why.
Yeah, and it's true that it's that they themselves are the change.
Yeah.
So for them, it's kind of bringing it into the journey of change that they're anyway having.
Yeah.
And compared to existing companies, that also means that the costs are lower in the beginning, so are the resources. So of course, it's a priority. It's a matter of having the time and to making the effort. But by doing it from the very beginning, they can avoid many of the alternative costs that they will have later on elsewhere.
Right. So there was this question also about ISO 26000 and the self-declaration. Not that much people know about it. It's still, I mean, the standard is actually 10 years old, but well, something happened here in Sweden because, well, Sweden decided to do it, revise it, and do it verifiable. And that means that you actually, the self-declaration that is included in the standard, that we can verify your work and the way you work with sustainability. So my question to you there is like, how did you experience this that process of being verified? Because it's not a certification, it's a verification. Did you experience it differently, or what are your experience and takeaways?
As I differ from background compared to some of the previous speakers who are auditors now in this standard. I don't have, from the sideline, I have experience of ISO certifications, but I haven't been working with that as like in projects myself, but just been asked to support in some occasions. So I can't really compare properly with what like a certification would be like. But regarding the process as such, as a verification, I think it's a rather broad framework when you first dig into it. They think there's a lot of things that you gather information about in one place, which I mean, I can see the point with it, and I think it's really good that you do it. But that is one of those things that I think it's important to know why you're doing it, because otherwise it might be something where you say, oh, it takes too, like, yeah, if I don't have a clear why, I might actually take a step back and say I can do that later on. But for us, it was, I mean, we also got some tips and guidances from you people and from others around this. And for us, it was, since we were anyway working with this and creating our own way forward and roadmap for how to work with sustainability, we saw it as our chance to make our reporting easier, like, and also to frame a structure for ourselves that we can work with, that on top of not just being the structure is transparent. That means that we are also kind of telling everyone else that we feel obliged of doing this. We feel obliged of continuing this work. It's not something that we do one time, kind of. Because so for that purpose, I really think that despite of, like, if you feel that is something and that you would like to then maybe also communicate and use in spreading your work and towards your stakeholders around you and others in the society, of course, then I think it's worthwhile. My kind of take is that even though it's rather broad in the beginning and a lot of input that is necessary, the process as such, really, it's good because you get questions meanwhile while you're doing it. Like the kind of interaction, I think, is really valuable. And the process as such really helps to spot where you can start working.
Yeah, right. because it is a guiding standard, and it's guiding you or the companies or the organizations into their sustainability work. And well, you did really well. You answered all the questions, and actually, as you said, it's transparent. And if you browse the viewers who watch this, if you browse Mink's homepage, you could actually read the answers. So it is really transparent about how you work with sustainability. And yeah, what I was thinking about was also that, well, you don't have to, maybe you're not working with all the topics that is in the standard, right? But you could have some kind of an ambition that maybe in next year or in 2 years, you will start to work more with your stakeholders or you know, whatever. But
yeah, I mean, we are far from ready. Like, we're not finished with.
No.
Just because we have, I keep on saying this to people, that because we've actually been approached by quite some people after that we communicated that we got this verification. And I keep telling them, and also here internally, that this is just the beginning. I mean, this is actually the starting point. This verification doesn't mean that we, this is our baseline.
Right.
This is where we start building from. So, and not to see it as then everything that we have to do, but more of actually, as you say, a guide, something that shows us where we also have the opportunity of prioritizing together internally and with our main stakeholders and with the rest of our in our ecosystem, what we find important.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you there.
Yeah. So I would just want to say also to all the viewers that if you have questions now for Karin, just please ask them in the chat, and I will bring up the question here. Well, you did get your verification just a couple of weeks ago, but still, the question is, have you benefited from the verification? And it's a really short time now, but have you noticed any benefits of having the verification for the ISO 26000?
The verification as such, maybe not yet. I mean, yes, from the spreading then in that case, that we kind of get a focus upon what we're doing, because this is kind of, we've started this to look upon how we want to improve our work with sustainability before the verification, of course, and this is kind of just a next step in a process that we're in. But definitely, when I think in the longer term, we've been approached by organizations and companies where I never thought that we would. That we have peers in incubators in Sweden. That's kind of natural that we. And we do have some touching points regarding this anyway.
Yeah.
But different organizations has got in contact where I never would have thought that could be interesting for them to know what interest we are having in the verification, which I think is really good, because that kind of also builds an ecosystem around those questions that we sometimes do not find each other. We know that if we're going to work more sustainable and improve circularity and everything, that's exactly what's needed. We need to work much broader, and not with everyone, but with the ones where you find common interest and value. But I would just having this preparation and the work up to the verification before we actually started that process, that has been beneficial, because that kind of also means that we have set our targets and some kind of indicators for what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And that's firstly, we don't know if that's going to be the ones that actually then, because this is new, right? Working with sustainability in also in the startup world, there have been sustainable companies around before, yes, of course, but doing it in a very fundamental way hasn't been the case for everyone yet. So we are new at this ball as everyone else is. There've been someone, of course, working a bit ahead of us, and someone is like, it's like, but we're all in this process of testing what's working, and just the mere fact that setting goals. Then when we've been approached by others, investors, for instance, in our network that we work with to provide monetary value for startups in order to take the first steps and make the pilots and build their companies. And there has been interesting discussions from investors wanting to understand what measurements we then are focusing upon, because they are in the same journey of actually trying to find their sustainability goals when they invest in startups and when they invest in other companies.
Yeah,
so I would say overall this work is really contributing to further development together with other organizations. That fruit we haven't really bear yet, but definitely inspiring to others. Absolutely.
So and do you see any challenges now in forward for the sustainability work, or?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like that's, otherwise I wouldn't be here, as I said at the beginning. Well, I mean, the bigger picture, the big challenge that we're not working fast enough. I mean, I could have avoided that one. I don't need to work that much against the wind so that we think that the planet's not going to survive. That would be kind of ease of the shoulders, not having to have that thought for the coming generations. But I think, I mean, it's when working with change in any case is always. It always takes time. It means that you need to bear with and be patient, and also bring in an understanding that it's other people and other people's values and other people's, or even companies, that we're actually working with here. So treating it with respect, but at the same time showing that there is an alternative to not be sustainable, and what that is. And then, of course, I mean, when we come to resources, for instance, that is always a challenge, and how we the need I see for re-evaluating what we actually think is worth what.
Right.
I mean, we can invest X amount of money in tech, but we're not prepared yet to invest X amount of the same kind of money in sustainability. And that's a major issue, I would say. And that shift needs to happen, because I would say it's even clearer now that if we only do tech and not sustainability, tech is not, it's kind of, the risks are too high that something's going to happen that we can't use the tech anyway. So I think that kind of linkage we need to do more firmly.
Yeah, right. Great. Well, I think I'm so happy that you were the first incubator or startup house actually doing the verification, because you are now leading the way and walking the walk, or walking the talk, or however you want to frame that, but actually doing it, and also that you're including your startup companies within Mink. And I think that's beautiful, because then you are also helping others to become more sustainable. And so I'll just see if we have any questions here, but I don't see any comments. It could be delayed, so please stay tuned, Karin, if you could answer the questions. But I'm so happy that you could be here and talk with us, and I wish you all the best and good luck in the future.
Same to you, and have a good continuation of this show.
Thank you. Bye, Karin.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, now I'm alone here, and let's see if I can just put up the masterclass, because I thought now that we have listened to certified impact auditors about their work and the importance of their work and how they why they chosen to become certified impact auditors in the first, and also how they took on the course and their pilot companies. And also we have listened to Karin, which is excellent work at Mink, being the first startup house in the world being verified for their sustainability work, and verified according to ISO 26000 and the self-declaration. So again, just a reminder that ISO 26000 is an international 10-year-old standard for sustainability. But in Sweden, what we have done in Sweden is that we have revised it. We have included the sustainable development goals into the self-declaration, and also reframe the questions in the self-declaration so that companies can use it as a sustainability report, just as Karin mentioned. And also that is verifiable. So the standard or the self-declaration is verifiable, and it's verifiable by an accredited third-party organization, which Verify Agency is accredited for. So if you want to know more about this topic, we actually have a masterclass here in this weekend, and let's see if I can share my screen here, and hopefully you can see the PowerPoint that I'm showing you. So the free masterclass, I think you can see it now, right? Is in this weekend in Swedish. It's between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, early morning, because we want to get started, and but also it's a weekend, so we cannot work the whole day, right? So it's in the morning. Then we will have it in English in October 20th and 21st of October, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. so that you all can join from all over the world. And the agenda looks like this, that we have the first day we have the introduction to ISO 26000 and the agenda, and also the benefits for companies working with ISO 26000. And we will also introduce the self-declaration during that first day. Day 2, we will look into referral companies that have applied ISO 26000, just to see how they have applied it and worked with it. And it's all public, as you know, as we mentioned here with me, Mink and Karin, that companies, they have to put up the self-declaration publicly, so it is transparent. And we will also review self-declaration issues, and also get into the certified impact auditor training if you are interested. So this is the agenda for, as I said, free masterclasses here in this weekend in Swedish, and in English 20th and 21st of October. And I will put the link into the comments field where you can sign up later on. So let's see if I can just go back to the streaming. And if Joanna is here, I would just like to add you to the stream, because oh, here you are.
Hi.
There you are.
Whoops.
Whoops. Well, let's see, it's better like that, because you and Helena Tinnot, who is the head coach for this program, the Certified Impact Auditor program, you will together have the master classes the 16th, 17th and the 21st. So do you want to say something about the masterclasses? Again, just a sneak peek. I show the agenda, but do you have anything more to add, Joanna?
Well, of course, it's a great opportunity to join in a free masterclass. And if you're interested and curious about what this standard it can do for your organization, how you can work with it, and how you can work as an auditor, or just gaining knowledge around this verification process and what we are doing, and then of course you should come, and you're very welcome. And if you listen to the certified impact auditors today and want to join them, that's a possibility. So
great.
Join in. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. And well, now thank you, Joanna. We are just moving ahead because now we are going actually to raffle the winner. So I will put you off the stream now, Joanna. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And I will bring Sarah to the stage. Woo! And what we are going to do now is to raffle the winner, Certified Impact Auditors. So the background is that we had a challenge again. We love challenges, right?
Yes.
And well, you had a lot of answers.
I have a lot of answers of everyone who answered correctly to the questions in the competition.
Yeah.
And as we normally do, I go through the right answers first, and then we draw a winner. And of course, the person have to be here present in order to win, or otherwise we will pick another name.
Yeah, but before we start with that, Sarah,
yes.
Well, I just want to introduce you because so everyone knows who you are. Sarah, she's working at What is Common Ground, and it's our content manager at What is Common Ground, and is helping us with everything. You're doing so much great work. So and you're also a lecturer and a workshop leader, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How to implement this sustainable development goals into the business strategy.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's see now. As you said, you have to be here to win this challenge.
Yes.
So I hope that we have the winner, and as soon as we have revealed the winner, or you done the raffle, we say the name, and what happens next? They have to write something.
Yeah, they have to write that they are here in the comments field, and we cross our fingers that they will be here. And
so
otherwise,
otherwise it's so. Before we start, I'm always so excited, but before we start, please write here in the chat if you're here, because I sent you an email yesterday evening that you were the finalists who are here that we have chosen, because we have read and ensured that the answers are correct. So if you are here now watching, just please write it so we know that someone is here.
Yeah, I have seen some names throughout the day that are here, but that I recognize from the competition. But the question is if they are still here. So while people writing, yes, I'm here, I can go through the questions, because there were 5 questions and 3 that you needed to answer correctly. 2 and the other 2 were like motivate why you should win, and why verifying businesses sustainability work is important. So I can just go through the correct answers for the 3 first questions, while people hopefully will state that they are here. So the first question was, how many are the sub-targets included into the Sustainable Development Goals? Because there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, but it's really the sub-targets that we are supposed to reach. And it's 169 sub-targets.
Yeah.
Yes, so the correct answer is 169 sub-targets in total underneath these 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Okay, so that was the question.
That was the first question. Everybody had that one right. So that's great. People are aware of the Sustainable Development Goals and the sub-targets.
Yeah.
The second question were a bit more tricky. It was, what is the purpose of the revised self-declaration that is connected to ISO 26000? And the correct answer was, of course, they had some alternatives to choose from. So they didn't have to come up with the answer. But from the alternatives to choose from, the correct answer is to clarify how an organization strengthens its social responsibility and maximize its contribution to the, not social, the societal responsibility, of course, because it's include the social, the environmental, and the economic perspective, all the three areas of sustainability. So societal responsibility and maximizes its contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals. So that was the correct answer to why it was revised to implement the Sustainable Development Goals in all the three areas of sustainability. And the third question to answer correctly to was if can the revised ISO 26000 self-declaration be verified and used as a sustainability report? And the correct answer is yes, it can. So as we've been talking here today, it can be verified and it can also be used as a sustainability report. So that is great. And now from the ones who have answered correctly, I hope there will be people here who have answered that they are here. So I will
raffle.
I will raffle, and here I have a note, and I will read a name and see if that person is here. Okay. It says, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, but Vali Marshalek from Croatia.
Wow, Vali.
Vali, has she, I think I saw her name like early on in the beginning, but I don't know if
Vali, are you here? I know that you, Vali, you have to be here now.
Yeah, you have to be here now in order to have a chance to win. Otherwise, we will need to have...
we'll give it some time because it's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, of course, there's a bit delay.
So Vali, if you are here, we are looking out for you. I will send, I see if I can.
Oh, she writes in here. Hey!
Whoa, there it is. Vali, I'm here.
Congratulations. Wow. Nervous a bit, like if having to find out one was picked and then not being here. And wow, but big congratulations.
Yeah.
And
I'm so happy for you.
And we need to, of course, read a bit about your motivation, what you wrote in your, why you should win the course and what you work with. So let's see. So the fourth question was, why should companies audit their sustainability work and what are the gains from doing so according to your opinion? So Vali has answered, sustainability and financial aspects of doing business can no longer be separated from one another. We can see the new directives coming from EU lead to connecting both, and this is the future. It certainly is. And there's a long answer, but I will stop there and go on to the fifth question, which was motivate why you should win the Certified Impact Auditor course. So she says, I run the Global Compact Network Croatia and work with companies daily on setting priority goals, developing sustainability strategies, and defining activities to reach those goals. Completing this course would give me a much valid auditor perspective. Wow. And also going on further, but I'll stop there and just say, wow, big congratulations.
Wow. Big congratulations.
I'm so happy to have you on board.
Yes, me too. That is fantastic. Wow.
And also, of course, to all of the rest who didn't win, Thank you for participating, and please take the opportunity to take the free masterclasses that are coming up both in Swedish and English. And I think I'm not sure about the program, but there might be good offers in the end of those masterclasses too if you're interested.
Yeah, it usually is.
Yeah, if you're interested in taking the course. So don't miss those opportunities. To sign up, I think you see, Eva, maybe you can post the link to the masterclass, or if like to
Right,
click up
I will
to
do
sign
that.
up.
I have it here. So yeah.
Thank you to everyone for participating, and take the free masterclasses, and congratulations again, Vali. I hope I pronounce your name correctly, and we will be in contact with you.
Can
to
you
have
see
you on board.
Yeah,
now I can see you posted the links. I guess one is for English and one is for Swedish.
Right, I just put them up. So the first one was for, I think it was for the Swedish, and the second one was for the English. Well, you will see, you will notice it, because
otherwise you just take the other one.
Yeah. So great, this is fantastic, and I'm so happy for you all. And if you didn't win, just be on the masterclasses, and you will get a lot of value even there. And so thank you so much, Sarah. I'm always so happy when someone wins. And when the people are here also. And actually we had a winner for the business for SDGs, Jennifer Folin, and she's on the course now, and it's fantastic to see people being on the courses. So
it's a privilege to have this task to give away things. It's always unhappy.
And Valerie writes, thanks everyone for the congrats. Thank you so much. So now I think it's time to say goodbye. And well, if you have questions or thoughts about the topic that we had, because it was about, as we said, walk the walk, right, Sarah? And
yes.
To really do the work, and it is possible to do it, and the guidance, the framework for Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals and the sub-targets, they're all there. But also the ISO 26000, which is a standard, and it is a guiding standard. So if you read it and follow the self-declaration questions, these 50 questions will guide you how to implement sustainability into your work. So start to walk the talk and walk. Start to walk.
Exactly. No, we need action. We need a walk, not just a talk. And it's all what it's all about.
Yeah.
And since it's international, it applies like across borders if you have supply chains, or like it's the same language we talk, like with the Sustainable Development Goals. It's a global language, and the standard is global. And
So I would just want to bring Joanna up. You're on stream now, Joanna. We just want to say goodbye from all of us three. We have, I know that we have Helena Tinnert also watching, and Helena Victor, she's also in the team and watching. So we just want to say goodbye from us, and see you out there. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for today, everyone who participated and listened.
Thank you.